They ruled our planet for 160 million years, an empire that seemed eternal. But what if almost everything you know about them from the movies is not true? The Velociraptors from Jurassic Park were actually the size of a turkey, and most likely completely covered in feathers. Their true relatives in the world of cinema are more like giant birds of prey than scaly lizards. In this video, you will learn what sound a Tyrannosaurus actually made, how we know what color the dinosaurs were, what incredible defense mechanisms they used, what a single bone can tell us about a dinosaur. Were dinosaurs caring parents? Why did they eat stones? And how they went extinct. Get ready, we are heading to the Mesozoic era to uncover all the secrets of the dinosaurs. Having reigned on Earth for 160 million years, dinosaurs vanished from the face of the planet about 66 million years ago. Scientific knowledge about dinosaurs is primarily formed from the study of fossils, the petrified remains of ancient plants or animals. Paleontologists, specialists who study ancient life forms, have formed a fairly clear picture of the origin of dinosaurs, their anatomy, way of life, species diversity, habitat, reproduction, and distribution in the prehistoric world. From minor imperfections in fossilized bones, specialists can infer the muscular structure of dinosaurs. And from the appearance of individual bones, they can determine what diseases the ancient lizards suffered from. A thorough study of a dinosaur skull provides insight into the size of its brain and its diet. Fossilized eggs tell us about dinosaur young. The entire history of the Earth, from its origin about 4.5 billion years ago, is divided into eras. The age of dinosaurs covers most of the Mesozoic, or Middle Life era. This era, in turn, consists of three periods: the Triassic, from 256 to 208 million years ago, the Jurassic, from 208 to 146 million years ago, and the Cretaceous, from 146 to 66 million years ago. Reptiles existed on Earth even before the appearance of dinosaurs. At the beginning of the Triassic period, many new species emerged. For example, the swift-footed cynodonts, dog-toothed, which hunted clumsy herds of herbivores. The earliest reptiles had their limbs positioned on the sides of their bodies, like most modern lizards. They were succeeded by the archosaurs, or ruling lizards. One group of these reptiles differed from the others in its body structure. Their limbs were positioned vertically beneath the body. This is likely the origin of the successful skeletal structure that we find in their descendants, the dinosaurs, or terrible lizards. By the end of the Triassic period, the first true dinosaurs were already roaming the Earth. Among them was Dilophosaurus, a ruler of the early Jurassic period whose footprint, left 210 million years ago, was discovered in the Arizona desert, as well as the agile Colophosis, one of the first fast predators. However, the peak of their era came in the Cretaceous period, when the number and diversity of these reptile species reached their zenith. To date, scientists have identified over 1,000 species of dinosaurs, which are clearly divided into two groups: herbivores and carnivores. The sizes of dinosaurs ranged from the small predator Compsognathus, no bigger than a rooster, to the giant sauropods, lizard-footed. Among them were species whose history has been revised by science. For example, Oviraptor, whose name mistakenly means egg thief, was actually a caring parent. Its first remains were found over a nest, and past scientists concluded that it was stealing others' eggs, but it was later discovered that it was incubating its own, protecting them to the last. Limbs and locomotion. The earliest reptiles, for example, Uparcaria, walked on all four limbs, which were widely splayed to the sides, much like modern monitor lizards. Dinosaurs, however, like Triceratops, had their legs positioned vertically beneath their bodies, giving them certain advantages: a longer stride and faster running speed compared to other lizards that dragged their bodies on the ground. Dinosaurs walked on 2 or 4 legs. Many, especially the long-legged ostrich dinosaurs, were swift runners and could reach speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour. Others, like the merciless killer Velociraptor, used speed and agility to attack small mammals or other dinosaurs, tearing their prey apart with long, sickle-shaped claws. Heavyweights, like the 35-ton Apatosaurus, moved at the speed of an elephant. And the giant sauropods, weighing over 50 tons, were much slower. To support their massive bodies, their limbs had to tread on the entire flat surface of their soles. A springy heel-to-toe gait, similar to a human's, would have required too much energy. Therefore, between the toes and the heel, sauropods had a thick, horny pad, like on the sole of a modern elephant. Sauropods. These were herbivorous giants with enormous bodies, small heads, and long giraffe-like necks that allowed them to reach the tasty leaves at the tops of trees. With their nail-like front teeth, they stripped foliage from branches, and with their blunt back teeth, they chewed them. Diplodocus, or double beam, reached 26 meters in length and weighed 11 tons. Brachiosaurus, or arm lizard, was 28 meters long, 13 meters high, and weighed 100 tons, as much as 16 African elephants. Brachiosaurs ate only plants and had to consume about a ton of leaves a day to survive. In the skeletons of some fossilized sauropods, huge stones have been found where the stomach should have been. Apparently, they helped to grind up coarse branches and leaves during digestion. Self-defense. Many herbivorous dinosaurs moved in groups in search of food. They often formed large herds to more successfully fend off predators. Triceratops, for example, did this to protect its young. This herbivorous lizard lived near the end of the Cretaceous period and was among the last dinosaurs to inhabit the planet. In the event of an attack, the adults would surround the young, much as elephants do today. However, many peaceful dinosaurs were also well armed. Triceratops, resembling a rhinoceros, would charge into battle and impale its enemy with 2 huge sharp horns located on the front of its snout, and the bony frill around its neck served as a defensive shield. Other herbivores, like Stegosaurus, were protected by rows of large bony plates along their back and short tail spikes. Its heavy armor made it an extremely awkward target. Pinacosaurus would stun its opponent with blows from a heavy bony club at the end of its tail. One swing of this bony mace could easily knock down a heavily armed Tarbosaurus. And pachycephalosaurs, thick-headed lizards, used their impressive dome-like heads, probably not for head-butting contests as previously thought, but for flank-butting duels or simply to display their strength to their peers. Their large bony head, with a skull thickness of up to 25 centimeters, acted like a helmet, reliably protecting the brain in any case. Tyrannosaurus. The most formidable heavyweight among the carnivorous dinosaurs was Tyrannosaurus. The inwardly curved, sharp teeth of predatory dinosaurs allowed them to tear their victims to pieces, while their long, sharp claws held them in place. The 12-meter-long Tyrannosaurus, tyrant lizard, was the largest of the carnivorous dinosaurs and weighed more than 8 tons. Its curved teeth reached 16 centimeters in length, almost the size of a human hand. Its powerful jaws and sharp, dagger-like teeth could have easily dispatched an adult human. Modern research shows that tyrannosaurs had a phenomenal sense of smell. Most carnivorous lizards, including Tyrannosaurus, moved on their 2 hind legs, which meant they could run fast in pursuit of prey. Its Asian relative, Tarbosaurus, was also a fearsome predator. Its terrifying saw-like teeth were perfectly adapted for tearing apart a victim, and being curved inward, they securely held struggling prey. In the upper part of the Tyrannosaurus's torso were short forelimbs. They ended in something like small hands with 2 clawed fingers on each. Scientists are not certain how Tyrannosaurus used its forelimbs, but it can be assumed that it used them to hold prey. According to some specialists, they served as small but strong supports for the lizard, which it used to rise to its hind legs after sleep or rest. Caring parents. For a long time, it was believed that dinosaurs built nests and laid eggs, but how the young were raised remained a mystery until 1978, when a whole maternity field with nests, eggs, and hatchlings was found in Montana, USA. This landmark discovery gave the world Maiasaura, whose name translates to caring mother lizard. Some of the hatchlings were up to 1 meter long, although the length of the egg did not exceed 20 centimeters. The discovered baby dinosaurs were too large to be newborns, which means they remained in the nests for a long time after hatching. Based on this data, scientists concluded that the parents cared for the young until they were old enough to fend for themselves. Many of the hatchlings found in Montana had worn teeth, meaning the parents fed them in the nest, like birds. The first fossils. In 1822, Gideon Mantell found some enormous teeth in a quarry in Sussex. Noting their similarity to the teeth of the South American iguana, he guessed that the fossil teeth belonged to a reptile and came up with the name iguanodon, meaning iguana-toothed. Fossil remains of dinosaurs are found in almost every corner of the world and on every continent, including Antarctica. Most often, bones and teeth are found, that is, skeletal elements that are much less susceptible to decomposition than soft tissues. Footprints come in second. They are often found on trails made by dinosaurs in soft ground. From the tracks, one can determine the lizard's habitats and who hunted whom. Fossilized footprints are called trace fossils. Coprolites, fossilized dinosaur droppings, are prepared and studied along with intestinal contents and stomach stones to find out what the ancient lizards ate. For a long time, the color of dinosaurs remained a mystery. However, today, thanks to the study of fossilized pigment cells, melanosomes, scientists can confidently reconstruct the coloration of some species. We know that the small predator, Sinosauropteryx, had a reddish, striped tail, and the armored Boreolopelta used camouflage with a dark back and a light belly to blend in with its surroundings. Also, many predatory dinosaurs, as previously assumed, were covered in feathers, which served not only for thermoregulation, but also for attracting mates. It is believed that even a giant like Tyrannosaurus, especially in its youth, could have had a feathered coat. Sudden demise. At the end of the Cretaceous period, about 66 million years ago, the dinosaurs became extinct. There are several theories about this. The discovery of a giant crater on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico suggests a collision with a huge meteorite, accompanied by a powerful explosion. The thick clouds of dust thrown into the atmosphere blocked the sun for several months and almost completely destroyed life on the planet. Other scientists believe that the dinosaurs died out due to climate change caused by these cataclysms. Modern data show that dinosaurs were not entirely cold-blooded. They had a unique intermediate metabolism that allowed them to remain active. But even that could not save them from the global consequences of the catastrophe. But we may never know the true reason for their extinction. Did you know? The word dinosaur, from the Greek for terrible lizard, was first used by Dr. Richard Owen in 1841. The heavyweight champion among known dinosaurs is Ultrasaurus, whose remains were first discovered in 1979. By some estimates, it weighed 130 tons. The largest dinosaur egg was found in France. It was the size of a rugby ball and was laid by a sauropod, the giant Hypsilosaurus. Of all the animals that have ever lived on Earth, Stegosaurus had the smallest brain in relation to its total body weight. With a 2-ton weight and a 6-meter length, the lizard's brain was only the size of a walnut. The bite of a Tyrannosaurus was the strongest among all land animals in history. The force of its jaws was enough to easily crush a car. Tyrannosaurus most likely did not produce a deafening roar. Analysis of its skull and its relationship to birds and crocodiles shows that it probably produced a low-frequency infrasonic hum or hiss that could be felt more than heard. The owner of the most impressive claws found by paleontologists was the amazing dinosaur from the theropod genus, that is, carnivorous dinosaurs that switched to vegetarianism. Tyrannosaurus. Its claws on its forelimbs could reach 1 meter in length. Why they were needed is still a mystery, and there are only assumptions. The mystery of the purpose of such huge claws has yet to be solved. The tail of Diplodocus could reach 14 meters in length. Scientists suggest that it could have used it as a powerful whip, creating a supersonic crack to scare off predators or for communication. Stegosaurus lived about 80 million years before Tyrannosaurus. This means that the time gap between Stegosaurus and Tyrannosaurus is greater than that between Tyrannosaurus and the appearance of the first humans. We live closer to the age of T-Rex than it did to the age of Stegosaurus. Birds are dinosaurs. Modern birds are the direct descendants of predatory theropod dinosaurs that survived the extinction. Technically, the hummingbird is the smallest dinosaur. Spinosaurus is the first semi-aquatic dinosaur. New findings, including a paddle-like tail, have shown that Spinosaurus spent most of its time in the water, hunting fish like a giant crocodile with a sail. Dinosaurs had a quiet hour. The study of growth cycles in bones shows that dinosaurs, like many modern animals, had periods of slowed metabolism and growth, probably related to a seasonal shortage of food, a kind of hibernation. Dinosaurs got cancer. Osteosarcoma, an advanced form of bone cancer, was found on the bones of a Centrosaurus that lived 76 million years ago. This proves that dinosaurs suffered from the same diseases as we do. And so, after 160 million years of undisputed dominion, the age of dinosaurs came to an end. We have only touched upon the most striking pages of this incredible saga, but the world of paleontology is vast, and every day scientists make new discoveries that change our understanding of these amazing creatures. Perhaps you know some astonishing fact about dinosaurs that we haven't mentioned. Or do you have something to add to our story? Share your knowledge in the comments. Let's build the most complete encyclopedia about these rulers of the ancient world together. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please support us with a like. It's the best reward for our work. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss new videos, because we still have so much more to tell you. That's all for now. Stay curious and see you in the next videos.